Well, I'm smelling something here, and it's not what's on your screen. I'm telling you one thing, it's about politics. You know, if there's anything that gets not just knee deep, it gets beyond the hip waders, it's actually you need a boat to freaking float through all the Scott Dodd that's out there. It's politics. And I'm not even just talking about Mr. Obama, President Obama, wherever he's from. I'm talking about Trump, too. Right now you're mad at me because I said Trump, but I'm going to tell you why. Um, this guy is actually a dyed-in-the-wool liberal establishment liberal. I'm using the word because almost everything he's been saying the last couple of years is not exactly what he's been saying for a long period of time. Just even like in 2012, I mentioned before, he was criticizing the hell out of Mitt Romney for being mean-spirited to the immigrations. Now he wants about the immigrants, the illegal aliens. He was talking now that he wants to put up a wall and send them all back. Now, I know he signed his pledge, and I actually flip-flopped on Trump a couple times because I didn't know. At first, I thought he was scamming he was a ringer for the Clintons, and I said he's going to play a Ross Perot and he's going to be running on a third party. And I didn't really, I don't give a shit if he tries to run on a Republican ticket or not. That's fine. But he signed a pledge that he was not going to run on a third party. Initially, he was the only guy in a debate that did not raise his hand that says he promised not to run on a third party. But something came up and over the last several weeks that Trump is now saying that the Republican National Committee is going to persecute him in the media, and they plan to do this. I'm thinking they plan to do this? Get the hell out of here. But now I'm going to say this. The statistics let me put it this way. He's talking like with the Muslims now, and I'm telling you, that when he is coming out with such outlandish statements, I know most people in the United States are thinking we got to stop the Muslim invasion coming over here, and I know that's a lot of people are thinking. But when you're running for the president, you want to actually not be putting out words to that effect. And what you need to be putting out is we need to screen out people that are coming to the United States that might be using their citizenship or trying to get in here to undermine our system, not versus the way Trump was putting it. I know you can argue with this all day, but I'm going to tell you right now, he's actually coming out with such bold statements to make it impossible that he will have any remote chance to be on a Republican nomination, and I think that's all deliberate. I also want to tell you this. I know these type of people. I don't know Trump, but I can tell you one thing. He does not. You say he built this, he built that. He's involved. I know he's tied. His wealth is tied very much to real estate and America itself. But if he is a ringer to the Clintons, he's going to get paid back with a lot of sweet deals in a lot of different ways. That I'm highly suspecting, very much so, because he has actually changed his tune very much in the last few years. And, his attorney, Cohen, says, well, he could change his mind. He's playing to a certain group. And I can say that his really group he plays to is the very conservative, Christian-type groups and things. Now, I could tell you that, like Jeb Bush, forget about that guy. Rubio, forget about him. Ted Cruz, I think, is legit. Okay? Ted Cruz, I think, is legit. But he's a falling star, possibly, too. That's possible. But Trump, well, maybe Ted Cruz is not a falling star. I don't know. But I would hope it's Ted Cruz that gets the Republican nomination and Trump doesn't run on anything. But I tend to think the plan is going to be that Trump will not get the nomination. He's going to say he was unfairly treated. He's going to be running on an independent ticket. And he only needs 10% of the vote to freaking throw the election to Hillary Clinton. And then he'll be paid back. I want to put this out here. I flip-flop on this a couple times because I realized when he signed this agreement, I was thinking, well, maybe he's not going to, play a game here, because I suspected him from day one like crazy. But now I am thinking You know what? Trump has always been a part of corporate feudalism from day one. If you really want to examine what Trump's been about, and I don't want to get people, just examine this, for example, like real common sense. Trump is a guy that never got his hands dirty. Trump is a guy that never picked up a hammer. Trump is a guy that never freaking worked on the scaffolding. Trump is a guy that never worked with the bricks and the mortar. He built everything, but he didn't build it. And, it's a game of bullshit, basically. And I can tell you what a lot of these people do. It's like they use money from one project and they fund another project with it, and they use other people's money. And they just keep going. And they suck everything out of something first, for their own expenses, per se, and then leave the shell to go bankrupt, which is that's his strategy, basically. But that's pretty much the strategy of anything. Corporate feudalism is actually what we got going on in the United States, and I really don't trust anybody that just comes from the corporate arena either. I would trust somebody that was actually a worker, that was hands-on. Somebody that was a framer, a roofer, somebody that put driveways in, that was a paver, agricultural farmer, did body work, did mechanic work, did electrical work, did plumbing. Actually built something with their hands. But, they're making it now, and I think this is the goal of everything, and that's actually the goal of Bill Clinton, but it's not just his goal. He's playing along with the game. What we got now, coming up now, is, and it's already, you can see it, it's already, because it's pretty much here, is corporate feudalism through the Trans-Pacific Partnership and all that type of stuff. Now, if, say, for instance, I was running, I wouldn't run for political office because I know I couldn't freaking run for political, that's ludicrous, but say I was a candidate or something like that. The way I would actually do it is I would put out more so, even less on the immigration and the Muslims, which I think is a problem, too much immigration, and also people that are coming over here that are hell-bent on destroying the United States versus building it. I would really put out against the corporate fascism that's got going on, and we're talking about the Trans-Pacific Partnership specifically, and government health care. Because they're really what they're doing, they're looking to own your ass. And they're also doing it through this climatology global warming scam, which is another way to freaking own your ass, because you're going to say that, all productivity of mankind must be limited because you are affecting the Earth's climate. And they're going to put the brakes on everybody, whereby and limit resources and limit population. It's basically another form of communism. But unfortunately, what's going on is that the very conservative and the very religious, almost in all cases, get hoodwinked by these false bullshit artists that come out of left field. And I could say Trump actually is a guy that actually came out of left field. He's talking the right talk. Although he's not talking the right talk because he's going too far and making himself to be impossible to be nominated, which of course I think that's the plan from day one. He wants to be running on a third party, and then he'll get the payback later. I know he signed that pledge, but man, he dropped a couple major hints. That pledge is going to be, I don't need to go by that pledge, which is, they're planning on doing a media blitz against me, and I'm in it to win. Not necessarily in it to support the Republican Party, because we really just got a two-party system. When you throw a third party in there, hang it up. I think if you're going to run a third party, you should have been voting for Libertarian all along, not now when it goes for Trump. And I think that's the game. It's going to pull it away from the Republicans. I would like to see Cruz be president, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the elite will let Cruz be president. So I'm putting this out here early because I want people to see the light, because I can't predict the future. I can't tell you I know this for a fact. But this guy is really ringing off alarm bells with me big time, and I know these kind of people. This guy, to me, is playing freaking games to the max. But he's got a lifelong history of playing games, also in business. And you got to remember, he's also run the show The Apprentice. The guy's an actor. He's scamming. That's all there is to it. I don't think this is going to be a popular video I'm putting out here because people aren't going to want to hear this. Maybe somebody might want to hear this that's a Hillary supporter, but I'm not a Hillary supporter. I hate her guts. She's garbage. She's a freaking part of the corporate fascist elite. I think Trump is basically working with them, with the Clintons. He's going to pull that ultra-conservative support away from the Republican Party, run on a third party, and therefore it's going to go to the Clintons. And he's going to get paid back. I know he signed that pledge, but I'm smelling something here big time. And, you know, I just want to put this warning out again because when I'm also looking at the alternative media and stuff like that, even this guy, Alex Jones, I look at some of his stuff that he puts out because it's almost like the entire, what do you call those, the conspiracy crowd, which I know the conspiracies are real, but the conspiracy crowd is being led by certain people from the top who are actually smiling all the way to the bank. It's the same thing going on with Trump. It's the same thing that's going on with Jesse Ventura, too. I mean, they're all in it, while I'm considering. They're not exactly legit. This guy, like Alex Jones, like every time you turn around, is a commercial for, buy this, and all this other garbage. It's a commercial enterprise that he's running here. But the fact that he can't see through Trump is telling me that he's in the game too. Alex Jones is in the game too. They're fanning the flames of, hey, we got to get behind this guy because he's our only hope. Oh, everything else is so screwed up. He's our only hope. I mean, that's the game that Alex Jones plays too. You got to watch my channel. You got to watch my website. You got to buy my products and all this kind of crap. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Even though I put some stuff out about some products out here, I don't have any financial connection to anybody. And it's stuff that I buy, that I try, that I research the hell out of it. And I always look for something that's the best value. I'm not playing some kind of game like Alex Jones pushing commercials. So, I mean, whenever I put something out about something I personally used that I think is good, it's really coming from my heart all the way. This guy is in it for the money. But he's not really looking too hard at Trump's bullshit he's played all along in the business world, too. And I could tell you one thing. Trump is total bullshit in the business world. He can't be trusted. He can't be trusted. I know people are reaching for straws and stuff like that. I mean, I would hope that, well, I don't know, maybe Cruz might get it, or probably, I'm not a fan of Rubio or Bush or Farina or whatever at all either. I'm not a fan of Ben Carson either because he's like going up for the vaccinations. I was like, that wasn't cool. And I don't know where the hell he stands too much. He's a little too quiet. I understand what Ted Cruz is about because he's been around in politics and he's firmly in with the ideals that I'm for. Trump has not been with the ideals I'm for until recently. And he's also, the way he's putting them out, he's like making it so people that are kind of like not that much on a bandwagon with, anti-immigration or not having Muslims in here. He puts it out like, stop all Muslims from coming in here, like ridiculous, or he just goes too far with it. It's like something that he's playing to the conservative audience, and Trump has never, ever had that ultra-conservative background. He's a New York City, New Jersey liberal to the max. He's always been that way. He's in with that crowd. He was a buddy with he's a game player, man. He's an actor. I wanted to put this video out again, even though I'm not giving you anything that much more specific than what I put out a few days ago. I'm putting this out again because there's more stuff that this guy's been saying in certain ways that is making him deliberately impossible to be nominated by the Republican National Committee as president. Which he's going to say they treated him unfairly, therefore this pledge is bullshit, and he's going to run on a third party with his own money. And you know what's going to happen? Everyone's going to be saying, well, he's using his own money, and you know what? When Hillary gets in, he'll get paid back by Bill and Hillary big time. He'll be rolling in dough. They'll hook him up. He's a game player, man. So I don't want to make this like, you know, this is impossible. We can't freaking do nothing about this kind of crap. Just recognize it for what it is. Actually, the other type of videos that I'm putting out that aren't about this politics caca-doo-doo shit, because I don't like putting out too many of these conspiracy politics videos. I put some out. The other videos I put out that are more about hands-on constructive things are really where you really need to concentrate, because it's hands-on constructive things that go back to old school, the way things were hundred-something years ago, is really how to fight the corporate fascists and the corporate feudalism. In other words, we could starve the beast. We don't need to buy anything from them, period, as much as possible. I'll go with, you know, buy USA, but I try to go with smaller vendors, smaller companies, and not the big freaking corporate fascist assholes. It can be done. It can be done. There's no doubt about it. Because, you know, despite the fact that, you know, they say we can't fight back, we can fight back. And we don't need to fight back through electing somebody or getting behind some fraud, which I see Trump as, and putting all our faith into one person. You see, that's actually where democracy fails. Democracy fails because people put all their faith in one person. They try to elect a champion. Well, so something Hillary's also talking about. Elect me as your champion. We don't need these jerks. The fact of the matter is this. We as individuals stand on our own 2 feet, and they perform a function as politicians for us, which is to uphold the law and Constitution, which guarantees fair play for all people involved. That's all they're supposed to do. The politicians and the government works for us. They don't work for the elite, and it's not a tool of the elite. And that's why when Trump is actually coming from an insider status, I don't trust it at all. I think if Trump actually was a guy that was like, say it was Harold Hamm of the oil tycoon variety in the shale oil industry, the guy that worked in the gas stations, and he started oil wells, and now he's one of the top 50 richest people on the planet. That's Harold Hamm, right? He's a multi-billionaire. If that guy was running for president, and considering where he came from, I'd probably believe it more so than Trump, but not Trump. And considering that Harold Hamm is actually from the Midwest and Trump is from New Jersey, New York, I don't trust it. I'm from New Jersey, New York, very close to New York City. And, you know, I worked in New York City a lot, too. I mean, it was like right there. I mean, it was like 11 miles of where I was living from where I grew up. So I'm very familiar with the kind of games and scams that go on. I don't trust Trump in the least. And the only thing that was starting to make me trust him was when he signed that pledge. But I'm thinking he's already telling you he's going to. He didn't quite say he's going to bust that pledge all out, but he's already hinting at it in a number of ways by his actions and some things of what he said. He's the same kind of game that Alex Jones is playing. He's false opposition. And the best way to lead the opposite, to fight the opposition and control the opposition, is to lead it yourselves. I think that's all he's about. Cruz is legit. Ted Cruz is legit. But then again, I want to just emphasize again that you don't need a person on the top telling us, you know, this is how it is, and I'm for you. They're all bullshit. It's you, the people, have to stand on your own 2 feet first and not look to somebody to freaking get something from, or what I'm supposed to think and what they're going to do for me and be taken care of. It's a little bit scarier thought, of course, but that's really how the situation has to be. You got to work on your own stuff and stand on your own 2 feet, because once you say I want everything fixed through one person, you already gave up your rights. That's exactly what happens. That's why all these scumbag politicians are grabbing up, everything, and you're never getting rid of them. It's an endless cycle because everybody's focused in on who do we elect to fix the problems. You know what? It's a matter of let's limit these assholes all the way. It's not them that are going to fix our problems. It's us that are going to fix our problems. If the cities are problems, the cities have problems, the cities have more crime, well, people ought to stop committing crimes. Cities have drug problems, people ought to stop taking drugs. Cities have dilapidated structures, people ought to get in their own 2 hands and fix them themselves and take pride in their own neighborhoods. We fix the problems, the government doesn't. That's what it really comes down to.